Okay, so this video is going to go over factoring when a is equal to 1 answers. So the worksheet from last week. So you had 6 problems. So the first one was number 21, states 2p squared plus 2p minus 4. So remember, this is when a is equal to 1. So if a is not equal to 1, so right here we have a equal to 2, that tells us there's a GCF that we need to factor out. So the GCF, so we have a equal to 2, b equal to 2, and c equal to negative 4. The GCF of all of these would be 2, so I'm going to divide them all by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, which is what we want. Good, because a is equal to 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 2. So I have p squared plus p minus 2. So I need two numbers that multiply to a times c, so a times c, which is 1 times negative 2, and b, which is 1. So two numbers that multiply to negative 2 but add to 1 would be 2 and negative 1. Because 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and 2 plus negative 1 is 1. So right here. So that means my answer is p plus 2, p minus 1, and then I put my GCF of 2 in the front. So that's my first answer. Okay, let's look at number 22. Number 22 says 4v squared minus 4v minus 8. Remember, this is when factoring when a is equal to 1, so our a value has to be 1. So since it's not 1, that tells us there's a GCF, and the GCF here is 4. So I'm going to divide all of the a, b, and c by 4. So I have v squared minus v minus 2. So creating my table, I need two numbers that multiply to negative 2 but add to negative 1. And that's going to be negative 2 times 1. Because negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, but negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So my answer is v minus 2, v plus 1, and then I bring down my GCF of 4 in the front. Okay. Let's look at number 23. 23 says x squared minus 15x plus 50. Okay, so right here we see that already our a value is 1, so we can just start with our table. So I need two numbers that multiply to 50 but add to negative 15. So two numbers that multiply to 50 and add to negative 15 would be negative 5 times negative 10. Because negative times a negative gives us a positive 50, and negative 5 plus negative 10 is negative 15. So my answer is x minus 5, x minus 10, and since I did not have a GCF, this is my answer. Okay, let's look at number 24. Number 24 is v squared minus 7v plus 10. So again, my a value is already 1, so I can go straight to my table. So I have two numbers that multiply to 10 but add to negative 7. So two numbers that multiply to 10 but would add to negative 7 would be negative 5 and negative 2. Because negative times a negative will give us a positive 10, and negative 5 plus negative 2 will give us negative 7. So my answer is v minus 5 and v minus 2. And since I don't have a GCF to put in the front, this is my answer. Okay, two more. Number 26, or did I skip one? 25, my bad. 25. I have p squared plus 3p minus 18. Again, the a value is 1, so that means there's no GCF. So I'm going to go straight to my table. So I need two numbers that multiply to negative 18 but add to 3. Two numbers that multiply to negative 18 would be, let's see, would be 6 and negative 3. 6 times negative 3 gives us negative 18. 6 plus negative 3 gives us 3. So my answer is P plus 6, P minus 3. Okay, and then lastly, I have 26, which is 6v squared plus 66v plus 60. Notice that my a value is not 1, so that means there has to be a GCF. And in this case, the GCF is 6. So I'm going to divide a, b, and c by 6. So that I'm left with v squared plus 11v plus 10. So I'm dividing each of these by 6. Okay. Now I'm creating my table, so I need two numbers that multiply to 10 but add to 11. That's going to be 1 times 10. So I have v plus 1, v plus 10, and since I have a GCF of 6, that goes in the front. So this is my answer. So a lot of you, I said that you needed to work on showing your work. I mean, a lot of you just wrote the question and the answer. And it looks very suspicious to me because how else are you guys doing this in your head? If I can't do it in my head and I have to show all the work, you have to show it all too. So from now on, if I ask you to show your work, I'm talking about this. All the steps that were exactly like the video. Please do not try to cheat using those apps on your phone. If you need help, ask me first. You can use those apps as like a check my answer, but try to work it out on your own. That's the only way you're going to be able to remember it later. You will be focusing on these topics a lot next year in Algebra 2. It's kind of just a repeat of what we did, but a little harder. So you need to know the basics before we move on.